And speaking of that, I'll jump to this next one over here, which I think is very similar in the realm of it being a mother-daughter story, or I should say one of
a parent-child story.
Yeah, parents who are in an industry, and then you kind of see how that's affected the child. I caught this one very late because it's technically only being released now, but there is another Coppola out there making movies lest you forget, and it is Gia Coppola. I've been seeing a lot of mentions being brought up for The Bling Ring. I would say probably one of her biggest movies. She did Bling Ring, no?
No, that was Sophia.
She did Palo Alto.
Yeah,
Damn, bro,
yeah.
I've been giving her credit for her sister's movies. Never mind. We're sticking on the Sophia clan over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to start good, though. I like the movie. But if I may, I think
Please.
On the Rocks does this better. I think her sister did the better movie in terms of it. I'll get into those themes, but first and foremost, this is too short. This is a story where Pamela Anderson is up for awards because she is playing an incredible performance of this showgirl who has been at part of this Las Vegas residency, if you want to call it that, doing this specific show with all these feathers. Not too nude. Not too overtly.
Yeah, like a burlesque, sort of.
She stops right before. And to her, she thinks it's like a dying show. And for the most part, she stopped her entire life, including that of her daughters, to be able to dedicate it all to this. So when the show's about to end, what is she going to do? Man, I almost wanted to see more of this movie. I've got complaints and criticisms that also are compliments. For starters, why my girl put Vaseline on the lens of the camera and said action and started rolling? I found out that they created these lenses where they're like all messed up on the outside so it looks super blurry. It's all bokeh just so there could be focus in the center. It may be one of the ugliest things you've seen, and I was also enamored at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a beauty to this movie.
There really is. There is. And I think the thing you're reacting to is sort of the sort of modus operandi of both Gia and Sophia sometimes, in that they're not super plot-centric in their films. It's not giving you a lot of story, a lot of twists and turns in terms of character or even huge character development. It is very slice of life. Like, it really is just kind of giving you a picture for the kind of life that somebody in the situation that Pam Anderson's character would live. And also, like, the situational relationships around her, whether that is like her boss and sort of kind of romantic partner, the younger coworkers she has who've sort of become like pseudo daughters to her, the actual daughter she has who is, you know, keeps her at a distance because of the type of upbringing she's had, you know, and it's all interesting. Like, I found it all extremely textured and lived in, particularly the way that she shoots Las Vegas. It's really interesting. Just like you don't get as much of the glamour, even though you get the grandness of it, right? Like, you see it very much from the level of somebody who is working a job there. But it just doesn't go that deep. And I think that's where where I hit my head on the ceiling a bit with this movie, where I think it is very good. And I think there's not really much I have against what they're showing me. I just kind of
it's one of those,
want a little bit more from it, because as is, it's basically The Wrestler, but for a showgirl, right? This is a movie about somebody who has sold their body until their body has sort of until their body has worn down for the purposes of other people's entertainment. And the way that there isn't kind of like there isn't like a second life to that. There isn't a long career span for people in those professions.
Yeah, and I thought that would have been way more fascinating to see. She talks a lot about what she likes about the show, but I don't think she ever fully delivers it. And I wanted to see more of that, because that's also the question that her daughter's asking. Was this worth leaving me, or like not, you know, focusing on this more than myself? And I think that was a big part of it, because a massive part of the movie is, like you were saying with Vegas, it's a fresh look on old traditions.
Right.
And I think that's something with Coppola last year, making his movie really be about like, I'm so tortured as a talented person, but have I left a good future?
Megalopolis,
I think I got a kid who maybe still got the talent I do to see things the way I do. I'd be fascinated to see a movie more about that from Sophia and Gia, because here you do get this idea of, as they put it, it is about a person reinventing themselves once they're they're discarded, they're no longer needed. But it really is about this forgiveness thing between a parent and their child. And again, both of these girls have made these movies the same way their father has made one for them. What happens when you were carried through the industry because you were the child of somebody? And I wanted to see more of that, because that's what I think On the Rocks really covers that in getting, what's her name? Quincy Jones' daughter. Rashida Jones. Yeah. Being able to play off, having a father figure who's really famous and you're kind of almost under their shadow. I think the biggest difference here is that the girl's a photographer while she's a showgirl. And to me, what you're relating to in the best possible way is you having the same thing that your dad has as a passion, which is he films and you filmed. And I think maybe that's where we could have gotten deeper with it, in relating that, because you really leave it open-ended on the daughter. And I wanted to see more of how they were going to get into that. There's other revelations with the daughter as well and people who are around there. But it was interesting to see the behind the scenes. You heard Pamela complained about her agent? Wasn't getting.
I don't think I heard
roles.
this.
She was cutting off things. It's like, no, all the good juicy roles weren't there, and they only wanted me to do, the salacious stuff. She's like, I could be, I'm good in a bikini, but I'm good outside of it too. Her son brought the script to her, and he's producer on the movie. So you then take all those themes of what it's like to have your child dragged through the industry because you were in it. You're reckoning with your ending or your future, but you also got to reckon with theirs. And there's beauty in that. I wanted to see more of it. It's shot in a very interesting way. I agree with our buddy Chase who had said, focus on side character. I know
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes. So I was going to bring that up. She won Best Supporting Actress for Everything Everywhere All at Once with a nothing part. She should have won it for this movie, which she's really good in.
And she has less to do, if we're being honest. It's just the things she does on screen, just take it away. There was a big moment when Boyhood came out where a big part of it was her award being offered up as like a tribute to her showing her face age on screen. That was a big part of her speech.
Patricia Arquette, yeah.
There is a massive part here as well about her just putting it all out there. And she's talked about that. She's like, thank God for the bronzer and stuff. But she puts herself out there. And there is an ad-libbed scene. It's a dance that happens. I found out it was improv after the fact. And I think it's one of the best scenes, including her. And she don't even say a word. I'm not even into interpretive dances or whatever you want to call it. But it is really one person, just like our main character, who is realizing I'm in my dead end. Only the young people stay for extra hours.
Yep.
They would have focused a little bit more on her. I could see it. Some people were offended by it with the nomination for her. After seeing the movie, I wish she had more screen. You're lucky she doesn't have more screen time because she would have been taking this from a lot of y'all. But it's good. I liked it.
Speaking of the supporting cast, there's a couple more people I want to shout out at least briefly. We talked about her a little bit in our Guys video. I thought Kiernan Shipka was actually quite good in this film as sort of the pseudo daughter and person who's almost like an apprentice to Pamela Anderson in this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say surrogate's the right word, but it's like, this is what if Pamela would have started at their age? Because Pamela's like, her character is very big on the idea of like, no, there's a classiness, there's a line you don't cross. And these girls are in there already auditioning for the roles that, as you follow her in the movie, she's willing to break down, almost step over what she thought was appropriate. These girls are already starting at that point. I thought that was also very interesting in terms of connecting it to today's world. I feel like a lot of actresses have to put a lot more of themselves out there in order to be able to get a part. And this was kind of showcasing that. They did really good. Brenda Song was also very good in the movie, dude. I thought the audition scene with her kind of showcased where they were at their times. But I don't know. There's a lot in this movie. I want to rewatch it. It's very
Dave Bautista,
short.
very good role from Dave Bautista.
Good. His wig, fantastic and very subtle. My man's really been on a run. I like the turn he's been taking. Another person who told his agent, "Hey, enough with the machismo roles." Very soft spoken in this. But yeah, very strong cast.
Yeah, that's the thing, is everybody is good in this movie. It really, like, I think everything works. It's just maybe like a little slight.
Yeah, you might need to catch it at home because you might not feel you're getting your best bang for your buck in the theater. But her performance is really good. Even if you feel like they didn't answer some things like I do, I feel they leave the parents thing a little open-ended, which I guess may be the point. But her performance is so good. She's someone who's doing it for the love of the game. I always love seeing that. She's not doing this because she wants to be famous or overdo it or whatever else. There's this one line where she says, "Put me in the back. I don't care. I just want to be a part of the show." Shout out to the people who do it for the game. Hey, I'm down for her getting the nomination. I think she's worthy of it. Even if I don't think it's the strongest one because it's not the strongest movie. But she surprised me with this. Please give her more roles. She could do a lot. And the whole makeup, no makeup thing, I think the way she addresses it in public is fantastic. The way she does it in the movie is even better, bro. Is that when she goes on the date? I was like, whoa, left that man speechless. Last Showgirl, out in theaters. I would recommend it if you're looking to wrap up stuff for the end of the year, especially for Oscar season. But keep an eye on it for when it comes at home. That may be a better place for most to catch it.
Yeah, I feel like this is a movie that people will resonate with once it pops up on Netflix or something like that.